What's up everybody, welcome to Money Management channel. My name is Andrei and today I'm gonna be doing an update on MMTLP and FINRA saga.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed, born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up.
And for today's video guys, I have several quite interesting news. First of all, I will show you another letter that was written just recently by one of our community members, and I have to say that it is quite interesting letter because it addressed to the board of directors of NextBridge Hydrocarbons in general and to Greg McCabe in particular. And this letter is based on the Texas laws, and I have to say that I've read this letter and this letter impressed me. Then I will continue with an update that is related to the resignation of Gary Gensler, and potentially we will see this action by the end of this year. Then I will show you a quite weird update from the John Kennedy Jr. Twitter account, and I have to say that on the one hand I know why did it happen, and on the other hand I'm pretty much confused. Is it a coincidence or not? And at the end of this video I will show you very interesting update from Bloomberg that was brought up to the light by George Palikaras, and it is a very thorough explanation of the spoofing activity on the market that was made by Bloomberg almost 10 years ago. So, and before we dive deep into all of this, guys, please hit the like button for YouTube algorithm and drop me a line in the comment section if you think my videos are valuable for you. And let's start with this update that was written by Scott Roth, and Scott refers to the tweet that was written by your favorite SGM 17 hours ago. So, Scott wrote, "Getting at the truth often reveals who has content to hide the lies." And your favorite SGM wrote this. Step 1. Send shareholder RFI for MMTLP, also known as NextBridge Hydrocarbons, via email and registered mail. I'd like answers from our company, not X or YouTube. If I suddenly become a lightning rod for asking, then I'm going to have concerns if this community ever cared about its veterans. And guys, your favorite SGM is another veteran that is pushing this case forward. I have to admit that I admire of this type of people because they basically can do everything, literally everything, and they are doing this. So let me show you this letter in details. So it was written on November the 8th, and it is addressed to Greg McCabe and NextBridge Hydrocarbons. The subject is NextBridge Hydrocarbons shareholder request for information from Sergeant Major Daniel R. Oxler, U.S. Army. And he explains the background and the purpose, and let me go to this. Under Texas law, shareholders have a right to request information from companies, especially in cases where corporate actions or inactions appear detrimental to shareholder value. Section 21.218 of Texas Business Organization Code specifically entitles shareholders to access company records to investigate possible misconduct, assess management practices, and protect investments. Paragraph number 3. Duties and responsibilities. Directors and officers of private companies must uphold fiduciary duties of loyalty, care, and good faith, acting in shareholders' best interests without conflicts of interest. Texas law, reinforced by federal securities regulations, support these obligations. As a shareholder, I am requesting access to information and documents to verify NBH's adherence to these fiduciary responsibilities. Number 4. Rights for discovery. Texas law, specifically Texas Business Organization Code Section 21.218, provides shareholders with the right to access company records to investigate potential mismanagement or misconduct. Additionally, SEC Rule 10b-5 under the Securities Exchange Act of 1934 supports transparency, allowing shareholders to use such records to assess any potential fraud or negligence. Based on this legal framework, I request the following information and documents to evaluate NBH's recent actions and corporate governance. So guys, I have to say that for me it is very interesting to see that United States of America has a lot of laws and a lot of rules that pretty much regulate every point of the US citizens. And I have to say that you have to know all of these rules and laws in order to have the information from the company itself. And that is why, guys, definitely ordinary people cannot know all of this information, but they can ask for help, and they can ask attorneys who are working on this field and who know what type of laws or rules should be implemented in order to receive this information. So let me quote you the request for information itself. Please provide a response to the following questions and request for documentation within 14 calendar days of receipt of this memorandum. And guys, so we have a clear deadline that will happen on November 22nd, and by this date we have to see some kind of response from NextBridge Hydrocarbons, because they have to do it because of the Texas laws. So question number 1: has the transfer agent, American Stock Transfer and Trust Company, now Equinity, confirmed to NBH that all 165 million shares of NBH, formerly MMTLP, have been delivered, transferred and recorded under the names of rightful shareholders? And here's several sub-questions. Verification of delivery. Number 2, share count status. Number 3, response to potential naked short selling. And I want to pay attention to this question. Let me elaborate it. Shareholders whose shares have not been accounted for by Equinity may have received unregistered shares, potentially indicating naked short selling. What is NBH doing to resolve any discrepancies in share counts across broker-dealers such as Robinhood, Webull, E-Trade and others? And guys, this is not just a question, it is some kind of call to action, because NextBridge Hydrocarbons previously had to act in response to these actions, and for now they have to give this information to their shareholders. And to be honest, I don't know why they didn't file the official statement with the SEC in order to show its path to the resolution of this problem. And definitely this action alone raises a lot of additional questions. So number 4, identification of beneficial owners. Number 5, remedial actions. And let me elaborate this one. If shares cannot be provided to certain shareholders due to all shares being accounted for by Equinity, what legal or financial remedies is NBH exploring to resolve this issue? And guys, I have to say that according to US federal laws, and I know this information because of Rosa Towell's case and because of the Richard Hoffman's lawsuit that was switched to arbitration, and that was cancelled by Richard himself. And they told me, and they told basically to all of NBH shareholders, that all of the people who invested in MMTLP and who has NBH shares, despite the fact where their shares are located physically, they have to have equal rights for remedies, for financial remedies. And definitely, in my opinion, all other answers from authorities or from NBH itself, that certain shareholders might have some additional rights for financial remedies if they switched their shares to AST, in my opinion, are out of law. But you have to keep in mind that the NUCA, that was basically the remuneration for the people who send their shares to AST, is a completely different story, because it is an additional dividend for the actions, and it is not the remedies for damages. You have to diversify these two facts. So number 6, supporting documentation. And question number 2, the NBH website advises that shareholder registration with Equinity is currently optional. Please clarify rationale for SEC involvement. Number 2, status of NUCO subsidiary. And this is quite important question. Next one, number 3, impact on shareholder value. And this is the most crucial sub-question because for now the Orogrande prospect is not supporting the intrinsic value of NextBridge hydrocarbon shares. So let me show you next one, number 4, optional registration. And this is the question that I still receive from the shareholders. Why is registration with the Equinity Trust company optional, and what advantages or disadvantages exist for shareholders in choosing this option? Number 5, future registration triggers. Number 6, direct registration benefits. Number 7, strategic changes and subsidiary plans. And here is another quite interesting point. Have there been strategic changes affecting the formation of NUCO or any dividends? If so, what is the revised plan for NBH's assets, and how does this impact shareholders? And I have to say that these questions are extremely important because for now, no one, literally no one knows what will be the next step from NextBridge Hydrocarbons and what intentions does Greg McCabe have in order to solve this problem. Next one, 8, documentation. And the next set of questions is following. NBH question number 3. NBH recently lost its lease to university lands related to the Orogrande asset. This decision could significantly impact company operations and revenue. Please address the following. Reason for this termination. Number 2, alternative revenue sources. Number 3, impact on strategy. Number 4, short-term financial impacts. And number 5, documentation. And guys, I have to say that all of these questions are quite similar to the questions that were asked by Scott Trott himself to Greg McCabe. And guys, all of these actions and all of these questions, despite the fact whether you like it or not, are pretty much the right of shareholders to ask these questions, and you cannot affect on the decisions of Scott Trott and of this sergeant in order to prevent them from asking these questions. So, question number 4. NBH recently signed a letter of intent to acquire 40% interest in Louisiana Heritage Play from McCabe Petroleum Corporation. Please clarify. Conflict of interest. Does acquiring LHP from McCabe Petroleum Corporation, given Mr. McCabe's role as NBH chairman of the board, present any conflict of interest? Number 2, synergies and strategic fit. Number 3, financial risks. And number 4, documentation. So, and the last set of questions is right here. In August 2023, NBH secured $2 million loan from Capco Holding Incorporated, owned by Clinton Plant, at a 12% interest rate with an additional 250,000 stock options as collateral. Mr. Plant also secured a $10,000 per month consulting role. Please address the following. Justification for the loan terms. What rationale and justification did NBH use to accept this loan and its terms given the higher than average interest rate? Next one, independent oversight. Was this loan arrangement reviewed by an independent board or financial advisor to prioritize shareholder interests? Number 3, alternative financing considered. What are the lending institutions or terms considered? Number 4, consulting services provided. What specific consulting services is Mr. Plant provided, and how do these services align with NBH's strategic goals? And guys, as you can see, these questions complement each other because we have, if we have more answers on first questions, we have more questions from another side. And this is a very important chain that should be discovered by someone. And this, in my opinion, should be done by the court. This means we have to see this information in the lawsuit, and I have to admit that we've already seen this in the lawsuit that was filed by Scott Trott. And yes, I think it is another step to see more information that might help us to have a resolution, but I have some doubts that we will have the answer within next 14 calendar days. So, let me show you another quite interesting so-called coincidence. RareDD published another set of his due diligence, and he wrote this. Jessica Hopper was FINRA's head of enforcement when FINRA U3 halted MMTLP. Jessica was at FINRA for about 18 years, and she was only head of enforcement for about 2 years. Esther Pierce. Isn't it odd that she would just leave FINRA shortly after the U3 halt and before FINRA's first FAQ for MMTLP? This leaves the impression that Jessica didn't agree with how FINRA was going to address the issue, but because she kept her mouth shut, she found a great position working remotely for Edward Jones with a pay bump that likely made passing up her FINRA pension worthwhile. Susan Schroeder, Jessica's predecessor, and Christopher Cadley, the acting head of enforcement. When Hopper left, he left the same year as Hopper. All work for firms that they once regulated. Isn't this problematic? And guys, this is the crucial question, because we know that all of basically the majority of people who worked for SEC and who resigned from their posts, they start to work for the companies that they once regulated. And in my opinion, it is a pure conflict of interest, and this fact alone raises more questions to the activity of FINRA and SEC. So let me show you another update. We know that Donald Trump promised to fire Gary Gensler on day one of his presidency, and for now we have another rumors that Gary Gensler is expected to resign by the end of December, according to an anonymous source. And I think it is just a matter of time when he will resign, and I think it will happen within just a couple of months at most. So, and definitely it is a very good sign. On top of that, you know that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is in the team of Donald Trump, and for now he is extremely active person. I think he is in the list of top 5 people of Donald Trump's team, and recently he published this tweet, and I covered it in one of my videos, where he was on the side of retail investors and he bought some shares of GameStop for the fees that was received by him from suing Monsanto. And I remember this tweet, but at the same time, guys, I have a quite strange update. I tried to find this tweet in his Twitter account. As you can see, it is a GameStop keyword from the Robert Kennedy Jr. Twitter account, and there is no results for this search term. On top of that, guys, if I try to use a search term GME, and let me show you, GME, we also don't have any results. But if I try to use $24,000 like this, you can see that there is only one tweet that was written on April 13th of 2023, and that is not related to this tweet at all. And guys, on the one hand, it might be a problem that happened, the similar problem happened just yesterday when I tried to find the tweets from Chris Roll's Twitter account, and I couldn't find it, but at the same time, if I do it manually, I basically found them, and probably it is some kind of glitch of X platform. But on the other hand, we have this result that decently found the 24,000, but with this add-on in the middle of this search term. And I have some doubts. Is Robert F. Kennedy Jr. on our side, or he deleted all of these tweets in support of retail community? And this is quite suspicious. So guys, and unfortunately I still don't have enough time to cover this tweet that was written by George Palekers, and he wrote it just yesterday, and he added the link to the article of Bloomberg that was written on 2015, and it says how to catch a spoofer. This article basically explains with a very interesting manner. You can see how the spoofing activity acts, and you can take a look at this article by yourself, but probably I will do another update tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, and I will explain you that these actions of spoofers are not the so-called top secret information. Everyone knows about it and how they act, and that is why, guys, if we know how they can do these actions, we can fight against them. And guys, let me tell you my personal story. I have a wife and 2 children aged 11 and 15, as well as a small dog. After 30 years of living in Russia near the Baikal Lake, we decided to move. Now we reside in Serbia. Although I don't own any MMTLP shares, I invest a lot of time creating daily MMTLP videos. I have been doing this every day without days off and holidays for more than 1.5 years. Now I wish to buy back this time from my family, from my children. We've agreed that I will ask the MMTLP community to support me, and I will give all the money to the children. Therefore, if you believe that I am providing useful content for you and wish to support me, you can join my Patreon account. For $5 a month, I will add your name to my list of supporters if you wish. Thank you in advance. The link you can find in the description below. So, I think that's all information that I want to provide you. If you like my video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, and see you guys and girls next time. Bye!
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gone live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, doing no cap. Only God wants you.